So, a IT admin deleted all the company's financial data from the servers. Let's talk about it. What's up, guys? It's Josh back with another video, and today I wanted to talk about another article. I thought it was super interesting when I read the article. I was like, man, I gotta share it with the community. You know what I'm saying? This is, very crazy. You know what I'm saying? This guy, he actually, wiped a whole bunch of the company's data from the company that he actually worked for, and he did it to prove a point. But it landed him in jail for a total of 7 years. But let's hop over to the article and read a little bit about it. All right, cool. So it says this is on PCgamer.com. And this was published 3 days ago by Dave James. But it says an IT admin gets 7 years for wiping his company's servers to prove a point. Han Bing allegedly felt undervalued after his security warnings were ignored and decided to prove his point by trashing 4 financial servers. Now this is like super crazy, you know what I'm saying? I definitely don't condone people doing stuff like this, and I understand how IT admins, I was an IT admin as well, we don't, get much respect, you know what I'm saying? We have to wear multiple hats, and we're constantly getting pulled in a whole bunch of different directions, and I know it gets frustrating, you know what I'm saying? And if you find things, on the network that you want to point out to people, a lot of times, you don't have any control over how much money that they budget for IT or IT security, and so he wanted to prove the point, but I definitely do not recommend anybody doing this. I just want to read about it so you guys can understand that this is the way some people, do things, but it can land you in prison, for a very long time for doing things like this. So let's go through and read a little bit about it, and then have a little bit of a conversation at the end. You guys can leave comments down in the comments, of course, and I'll have the link down in the description of the video as well. So it says, an indignant IT admin, seemingly aiming to prove the lax security his employer had ignored, proceeded to delete a bunch of vital financial databases, and has subsequently been given 7 years in prison as a result. It's what's known as IT trade, or cutting your nose off to spite your face, or inadvisably hawking out on a server you're known to have access to and have already complained about. Now it says Han Bing, a database administrator for Langji, a Chinese real estate brokerage previously known as HomeLink, was allegedly one of only 5 people in the security team with access to the company's financial system databases. So when someone logged in with root access to the financial system and deleted the lot via the bleeping computer, the company already had a handful of suspects. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the way they track security. You know what I'm saying? They look at who has access to something specifically and pull those logs. You can pull the logs and see who actually accessed it at a certain time. But it says he accessed it as root. So if hopefully it's not a shared root account. That way you can't really know who actually logged in. But most, tech companies or newer companies, they have it where you probably have to badge in or something at the company, so they know who all was in the building, so they can narrow it down, from that. But it says 4 of the 5 handed over their laptops and passwords immediately, while Bing refused to hand over his password, claiming that it held private information. So red flag right there, buddy. You stood out right there. You know what I'm saying? That let them know that you probably had something to do with it. But it says he agreed to access the device from the company's investigators while he was present, and no incriminating evidence on his machine. Now, it says the company, however, claimed the attack could be done simply by connecting to the server in a way that would leave no residual trace on the client laptop. Subsequent electronic forensic analysis of the company's server logs alongside the use of company CCTV. Yep, see, they had cameras. You probably had to badge in at this company, but it says was able to link records held on the server with the host name of Bing's MacBook. Yep. So they was able to see that as well. So like, if you don't know, man, if you're connected to a company, network, they know exactly what you're doing. If you're the only person that has access to a specific laptop, then they know that that's you. You know what I'm saying? You have the account on the computer. Nobody else is logged in under your account. You know what I'm saying? So, it's obviously going to pull in the host name, IP addresses, all that stuff is logged. But it says, I don't want to mess this up. You drizzle as well as certain Mac and IP addresses. Yeah, IP addresses linked to the computer. And then it says, anyways, with all the evidence in hand, the Beijing Forensic Identification Center concluded none of the other potential suspects could be linked to the attack on June 2018. So this actually happened a long time ago. I wonder why it took so long to actually them to create an article, because this article was published 3 days ago. Maybe they just figured it out. I mean, they finally figured it out. I'm not sure, but this attack happened back in 2018. The Han Bing was therefore found guilty of damaging computer information and sentenced to 7 years in prison. Now that's crazy right there. You know what I'm saying? It says initially that felt a bit harsh on the guy, but he did basically destroy 4 different servers, salting the earth so nothing could be recovered, and grinding the company's operation to a halt. Yeah, and people don't understand, a lot of this financial data, what I'm saying, that a lot of companies have, because I worked for a company in their finance department. I managed their finance database. If that database went away, what I'm saying, that would kill a lot of the processes that they do, because a lot of these companies, they do like a monthly close, especially if it's a public company. They have to close out all the financials for the month, and then the quarterly close, and then they use all that data for budgeting and all that good stuff. If you delete data like that, what I'm saying, then yeah, the company will be in serious crap. I mean, it's kind of like what happened with the pipeline. That's what shut down that pipeline for a while. That attack that happened earlier last year time frame, somewhere in there. The pipeline went down. It was mainly because of their financial systems got hacked, and ransomware, encrypted and all that stuff, so they couldn't access it. So that'll bring a company, operation to a halt, like it says right there. But it says it then had to pay some $30,000 as admins for the fact of the employees were left without pay for an extended amount of time. Yeah, that's crazy. It stops pay, all that, which is also pretty harsh. Bing's colleagues have suggested that the reasoning behind his deletion of the company's records was down to the fact he discovered the security of the financial system was compromised and his concerns were ignored. And that is a frustrating thing. You don't want to go to the extreme like this guy, but you do want to raise up the security flaws that may be in the system, because at the end of the day, even if you're not a cybersecurity professional, we're all responsible for the security of the system, the data, and all that stuff that you manage within the IT field and different departments in the company. You always want to be mindful of what's going on as far as security, and if you find something, you want to make sure you report it. Now, this guy says that they ignored it, what I'm saying, and that is somewhat of a concern. People should be encouraged to talk about these security flaws or bring them up or report them and be taken seriously. And I know some companies, they don't want to spend a lot of money on security or the budgeting, you know what I'm saying? They don't have enough money to spend on certain things, so they ignore it. But just don't go to the extreme like this guy. And that was one of the reasons I wanted to bring up this article. I saw it, I thought it was interesting, and I've heard of people actually doing things like this, and you can put yourself in serious trouble. You know what I'm saying? At least make a backup of it if you're gonna do something like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't just wipe it. And I guess he was thinking they would never find out, but they hired a security company to probably come in and review logs and look at everything. Or maybe these systems admins knew how to look through the logs properly in order to find out who actually did it and conduct the investigation. But he says he worked with another database admin to bring the issue to his seniors in the organization, but was apparently dismissed. It alleged this led to Bing arguing with other colleagues, and after his office was relocated, and it is suggested that he no longer felt valued by the company and was passive, sluggish, often late to work. And there is also the phenomenon of absenteeism. That's according to Edge Machine Translation, so make of that what you will. So I'm assuming somebody actually found this and translated. I got you. But maybe Bing thought he was going to be rewarded for highlighting the problem more obviously, or maybe he was just a grumpy, vengeful admin by the end of it. Either way, going to prison for 7 years was most definitely not what he was aiming to get out of this. So yeah, he actually got put in jail behind this stuff, and that just lets you know that you should not do things like this to your company or whatever. I don't, definitely don't support anything like this. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I've worked as a systems administrator, and it's a difficult task. Or a database administrator. I manage financial servers or whatever. Luckily, I didn't run into leadership like this. You know what I'm saying? They actually took my suggestions, and especially when I provided the detailed information of what could happen. They listen to me, especially if you're the expert or subject matter expert when it comes to a specific tool that's run by the company and it's critical to the company. Then they actually, took what my suggestions and ran with it and eventually implemented something in order to fix it. But some companies out here will not, they just don't either have the funds, they want to spend more money on it, but that's how companies get hacked, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day. And based on the way he was talking, anybody could have did this, because of the security flaw that was in the system that he brought up to them. You know what I'm saying? I'm assuming that's what he was probably trying to do. He was probably trying to delete the stuff and then try to pawn it off on some rogue hacker, tried to hack the server and deleted the data. But obviously that didn't work out for him. You know what I'm saying? I don't condone this, and it looks like this was done in China. But just note that this is something you may have to deal with if you get in the IT field, and I just wanted to point it out. Go down and check out the article. It'll be loaded down in the comments below or in the description below. And please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I know I keep doing these, security news. I'll be throwing the Linux stuff in there as well. Just trying to bring something different to the channel, because I really like talking about things like this. I really love talking about tech. And then whenever you work in the field, you'll start getting it. You'll start understanding it. You have to stay on top of, current events. It's always good to stay on top of current events and what's actually going on in the world, in the IT world. You know what I'm saying? So hope you guys have a good day. And of course, keep it techie.